All right, let's start with the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour, where the verdict in the Kathua rape and murder case is expected to be delivered shortly. A special court in Pathankot will deliver the verdict in the Kathua rape case, where, remember, an 8-year-old child had been brutally raped and murdered. The judge has arrived in the court. The trial, which was being conducted in isolation, ended on the 3rd of June, after which Judge Tejwinder Singh announced that the 10th of June, that is today, will be the likely date of the judgment. The security has, of course, been beefed up in the court premises as well as in Kathua, where the incident took place, as a precautionary measure. Now, all the accused, except for the juvenile, are presently lodged at the Gurdaspur prison and are likely to receive a minimum punishment of life imprisonment, and they could even possibly face the death penalty as well. Now, Mubin Farooq, the lawyer fighting on behalf of the victim's father, has assured that he was confident of obtaining the capital punishment for the accused. Listen in.
जो भी देखिए, ये अदालत में जो भी हमारे गवाह थे, 114 गवाह हमने पेश किए हैं, तो इन्होंने क्रॉस भी किया है, बट हम पूरे कॉन्फिडेंट हैं कि सारा कुछ जो भी हम चाहते थे वो ऑन रिकॉर्ड आ चुका है. कन्विक्शन इसमें हमारी तरफ से 101% कन्विक्शन होगी.
The Kathua rape case had shook the conscience of the country. Remember, a young-year-old 8 girl from the nomad Bakarwal community had been abducted and then drugged and brutally raped and murdered by 8 accused. Her body was discovered more than a week later in a village almost a kilometer away from her home. After mass protests and outrage across the nation, the accused were finally arrested. And there were also developments at the time when the incident had taken place that the right-wing groups had taken out rallies in support of the accused. They had stopped the filing of an FIR against them. And these unfavorable circumstances that time had led the Supreme Court to intervene, and it had asked the case to be shifted out of Kashmir to Pathankot in Punjab for the case to be carried out in an independent manner. And for more on this, we are joined in by my colleague Ushan Wani, who is presently tracking all the developments very closely for us. Good morning to you, Ushan. Now, this is a shocking case in which we expect the verdict to be delivered. Give us a sense of what is expected to happen today.
Well, absolutely. This was one of the brutal rapes that India has seen in its history. The girl was a minor girl. She was an 8-year-old. She was taken to the forest where she was first raped, and later on, the something which really twisted the case was that she was kept in a temple. She was given sedatives, and even the local alcohol was given to her so that she does not really speak up, and she stays there. And that is where this case got interesting. The charge sheet clearly says that all of the 8 accused, one of them has pleaded to be minor. All of the 7 will face either a life imprisonment if the verdict is delivered today, or a maximum of life death penalty. But this is an interesting case which also saw different political developments in the Kashmir. While the political parties in Jammu, including the BJP's 2 senior leaders, came out in the defense and rallied, which was part of the right-wing groups, took out a rally in Kathua. They were part of that group, and later on they instigated this group against that particular case, and later on the investigation was handled to the the crime branch of the Jammu and Kashmir police. Although there were also talks that the case should be given to the CBI and other investigation agencies, but later on it was said that J&K police is competent enough to deal with the case. The girl was really brutally raped. Her head was smashed. There are really graphic details of this incident in the charge sheet. But this case really, saw protests around India Gate, other parts of the India as well. There were condemnations by the political parties on this case. But later on, we saw that another twist took place when the judges in Kathua court tried to intervene the crime branch from filing that particular charge sheet in the Kathua case, and that is when the Supreme Court of India intervened and asked that the case should be taken to the Pathankot, and where there will be a day-to-day trial basis, which will be in camera. So that is where the family had seen some sort of a justice going through their way. But really a tragic incident, not only for the family but also for the entire nation. This will be a case which will be of the prime importance, because this is one case which after Nirbhaya there was lots of details details being talked about. This case was after Nirbhaya. This was a case which was talked a lot in the circle of media, politics and other things. It polarized the state in particular, where in the Jammu there were protests and in Kashmir there were also protests. But this case is interesting, and we'll have to wait and watch. Some 20-25 minutes from now, we're expecting that a verdict will be delivered by the judge, who has said that today he will deliver this particular judgment. But this case also is one of those cases where PDP and BJP started to split, because PDP came in strongly against the move of the BJP two leaders, senior BJP leaders, who came out in protest against that particular rally which was organized for those who were accused in the case. And that is when the divide started between PDP and the BJP. Although there were also factions of the National Conference which also protested in Jammu and asked for the CBI probe to take place in this particular incident. But the state authorities said that the J&K police is competent enough to deal with this case. Now one has to wait and watch what will be the verdict that will be delivered. Although all the case is saying that this was a move by the accused to install or strike a fear among the nomadic community, which keep on traveling from the Kashmir to Jammu in the summer season. Right now they are in Kashmir Valley, in the mountains of Kashmir, and in the winter they travel to Jammu with their cattle and sheep for their survival. Now this is one case which will be keenly looked at, and something which everyone is waiting for. There are high security arrangements outside the jail, outside the court premises in Pathankot, where SSG commandos, bulletproof vehicles have been kept on standby, and in Kashmir Valley and particularly in Jammu, so that there are no protests can take place or there can be no harm to the peace in the Jammu region. The police presence is high, and they are ready to deal with any situation that may arise.
Absolutely, indeed. Now, the incident, in fact, had taken place on the 10th of January 2018, when this young 8-year-old girl had been, in fact, abducted for almost several days. She had been drugged and brutally raped and eventually murdered, and then her body had been thrown away. Now, Ishan, the question that needs to be asked is, the trial has been going on for almost about a year, and finally we expect that the verdict will be given out today in this case. The question, of course, is this crime was committed to strike fear in the hearts of the Bakarwal nomadic community, to ensure that they don't, in fact, venture into Jammu, where they, in fact, go in winters. How is the Bakarwal community viewing all these developments?
Well, the entire community was shocked when this case happened, and later on when the police revealed that the main motive of this incident was a strike affair among the Bakarwal community, they were really not sure if they want to travel to Jammu. But the problem with them is that they don't get enough grass to graze their sheep in the Kashmir Valley. When the snow starts to set in, when the rains start to come in the month of August, they start traveling back. We're seeing a lot of them are coming to the Kashmir Valley, but the assurance from the administration made sure that this Bakarwal community goes back to those places. But remember, at that time, in the month of January, after this rape had happened, the family had said they would not return to Jammu, to that particular home where they reside in the winter season. But they were given assurances from the administration that, their safety will be ensured. But really, this was a brutal rape which not only shook that particular community, but also the entire nation. The graphic detail that how her head was smashed, how she was put on sedatives, how the pills were, given to her so that she does not speak up. She was kept in a temple, which was really shocking. A religious place being used for this heinous crime was something which was, really seen as something brutal. Apart from that, there were two police officers, including Inspector rank and the sub-inspector, who were, who tried to destroy the evidences when they were first to reach the spot and tried to destroy the evidences. They were also charged. They had received bribe from the sister of one of the accused. They have been charged in this particular case. Apart from that, there are two special police officers who were also involved in the rape and murder of this girl. Now, remember, one of the accused had come from a college outside Jammu to rape that particular girl. He had, basically, this was a minor boy who called his friends to rape this particular girl. Now, there was a minor argument with the Bakarwal community a day before this particular incident happened, day before she was abducted. The case details are that she was grazing her horses in that particular forest belt when she lost one of her horses and sought help from this particular boy who was known to him. And later on, this boy took her to the forest and raped her. Later on, he kept her in the cowshed of the main person who's accused and a former revenue officer in the State Department. And from there, she was shifted to the temple where she was kept on sedatives. There are details like how she was given the pills so that she don't speak. She was forced to, have those pills. And later on, she was killed finally. And before her killing, one of the accused had said that he must satisfy his lust, and that is when he raped it for the final time. And later on, with a stone, she was, brutally, the stone was put on her head and and she was killed. Although there were attempts to destroy the evidences, but the crime branch has done a commendable job to come up with the charge sheet and all the details that are there in the charge sheet. Now one has to wait and watch what will be the final verdict that the court will deliver. Although the lawyer of the one of the persons is confident that they will be getting the justice, and they are seeking the capital punishment, that is a death for all the 7 accused, apart from one who has pleaded minor.
Absolutely indeed, Ishan. It is a 16-month-long wait for justice, because that is how long this case is dragged. All 7 accused, we're given to understand, are presently in the court. Thank you very much indeed for getting us the latest. We'll of course come back to you as more details, in fact, emerge in this hearing, which is presently underway in a court in Pathankot. We can expect the verdict to be read out anytime soon. And as soon as more information comes in, we'll be getting you the details. But